All right, so sit comfortably in your seat, but in a way that allows you to remain attentive. Your back straight if you can. Solidly balanced on your hips, your feet on the floor. Relax your shoulders and let your hands rest in your lap. And let your neck and head balance on top of the column of your spine. So you can sit without having to muscle yourself in any position. You're just balanced like a group of blocks. Someone's stacked up. I'll ring our bell and you can take one deep breath in and out with each ring. Just love to hear the sustained note of that bell, how it continues for so long. So remain sitting attentive and relaxed. Breathe from your belly if you can. Feel your belly rise to draw that air in, your belly fall, push that air out, so that your whole body becomes like a bellows. Your belly rises as you breathe in and falls as you breathe out. And just be present to that breath. So often we take for granted the fact that we are going to continue breathing. We don't question the next breath until we get the wind knocked out of us or have a terrible cough, or we start coughing and can't catch our breath, and we realize how precious that next breath is. So be aware of how precious, what a gift it is to have another breath and another. And just be present, paying attention, giving your attention to that breath, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in as your belly rises, breathing out as it falls. Today we have 3 of us here, and one of our members joined us by pictures on the phone for a while, but when we lost his signal. But I mentioned that because I was thinking 2 of our members are having a discussion on Facebook about that fear of being a burden to others. And the person who had that fear was given the reassurance that they aren't a burden. We take that so seriously. I mean, I think we begin when we're quite little. We feel badly when our mother or father has to stay home from work and keep bringing us Kleenex and cough syrup, warm water when we're really sick. We just don't like to put other people out. And as we get older, we just find more and more opportunities to feel that way. Even over the smallest things, asking someone for a ride, it's not such a small thing, I guess, but I always hated asking friends to help me move. To the point once I actually moved by myself with a little Subaru 2-door. It was only 5 blocks of a move, but still, that showed how stubborn I can be. We just don't want that. But we continue to have that opportunity through our whole lives. And just wait till you get older and you really need sometimes to have help from someone just to lift a heavy object or get an appointment or get a ride to an appointment. And I think it comes from both not wanting to be a burden, but also that feeling that we're just not worth enough to ask for help, to receive it when it's given. But just like in mindfulness, we learn to look at the gift and miracle that our breath is. That we don't know it until we pay attention to it. That the support we get and give to each other is just as much of a gift. We never think of that when we're not wanting to make that call to ask a favor. Of all the times we've helped someone out, and how good it felt to be able to do that. Over the years, I've had friends tell me, we want to help you out. Please don't go into hiding when you need some support. There are so many ways we do support each other. Just that little interchange on Facebook that two friends here had. Or just the fact that we come together here once a week and support each other in sitting quietly and watching our breath come and go. There's that sense sometimes that I may not want to go or I may not need it, but just showing up helps other people, not necessarily supporting them, but them feeling they're important enough to show up here and support and be supported. That we are that gift like the breath, that we have much to give, and that we're very deserving of any of the help that is offered to us. Again, as I say, we support each other in ways we aren't even aware of. Just who would think sitting quietly together would be a way of supporting each other? But we encourage each other in our intention and our wish to do this practice just by showing up. I was talking to a friend of mine just the other day about the political situation and everything else going on in our country and how everyone is so worried. He said, well, I think it's going to show us that we have to come together. That's the only way we can get through this. And if we do that, this will have done some real good to go through what we're going through. I find in the same way going through something difficult can be good because it lets me see the people that love and care for me and want to help me. When they ask, how are you doing? They mean it. Over the past year, having hip surgery and a lot of pain, I didn't want to be a burden so much that I wouldn't even tell people how I was doing. Till finally I realized if they're asking, they really do want to know. And also realized that that's, at the time, was my life right now. And why wouldn't I share that with people? If I share other things in my life, I will share my struggles too, and my successes and joys. Just all those ways we can be there for each other and throw this idea of being a burden right out the window. That we all hold each other up. We take turns with that. Having a friend that you know will support you when you need it, and you will help them out without hesitation when they need it. In the same way, we're supported by our bodies and our breath, and even our minds, which sometimes can seem a burden that we have to bear. Those times when we wish we could shut it off and stop the worrying or the anxiety we're feeling. But that too is a gift. And if we can see it that way, we feel less put upon by those thoughts and by our thinking. And if we need to set it aside and listen to something else or think of something else, we can always go to our body, to that breath, rising as our belly rises and breathing out as our belly falls. Breathing in and breathing out. Not only supports us by giving us the air that's so precious that we need to breathe to survive. What we find here is that it can be that wonderful gift that ties us into this moment. It's something always at hand when we need to just stop and be calm. Our breath is always there. It's the closest thing and the fastest way to just slow down and be present to what's happening. So take some time this week to notice those times when you may be feeling you're a burden. And just try to break out of that habit of worrying about that and just ask. Trusting that if your friends feel you ask too much, or they may just not be able to do it in this time, they will tell you. And if someone asks you, just notice, am I thinking this person is a burden and I wish they wouldn't have asked me? I bet instead you'll find there's a certain joy that comes in being able to help someone else out. And as you do that, you can remember that you can ask and they'll feel the same way. So don't carry that heavy burden around of yourself and of worrying whether you're worth it. Put that burden down and just decide to walk light through life, taking what's given and giving when others ask. I'll ring the bell and take 3 deep breaths to end, and then open your eyes.